Okay, Aquarius, hi. This is your reading if you're an Aquarius sun, moon, rising, stellium, or any placement you want to read for. For May, we're just kind of checking in with May and see what's going on. Whoa! Okay, that flew out. Okay, yeah, it's very Mercury retrograde-ish so far. Looking back to the past, Mercury retrograde is on at the moment until the 12th of May, I believe. Oh, excuse me, the 14th of May in Taurus, which is squaring your sign. So there could be some like obstacles or difficulties that come up with this Mercury retrograde. You also have an eclipse, a south node eclipse in Scorpio on the 5th. So these are May 5th. So these are all these are squaring, they're other fixed signs, so they're squaring your sign, whether that be your rising sign, your moon sign, your sun sign, or whatever it is. So it could be kind of irritating and touching off, creating more obstacles than usual since it's in Taurus. Yeah, there's a lot of this is similar now to someone else's reading. I think I think it could be Virgo, but I'm not sure. So let's just see. Like there's a lot of kind of sadness or nostalgia here, or kind of low energy going on about the self, about who you are, about your personality, about what you want, how you want to put yourself out in the world. I don't know if you're looking back to a time. It could be to do with your body as well, how you look, how you invent yourself, how you dress, how you present, how you just how you come across at first to people. Sorry, now I'm just gonna move this a bit. It looks like from the outset that you are looking back to a time in your past when you were happier, or you're longing for that time when you were happy. It could be back to your childhood, or it could be a longing for what your inner child wants as well. It could be looking back, or kind of looking back solemnly on maybe wanting children, or your children that you had that are potentially now grown. But it's the 6 of Cups, which is kind of all about nostalgia. It's the sun in Scorpio. So I wonder if this is something around, if the Scorpio eclipse is activating something for you, which is on May 5th. It's been activating. This is the last of 3 of these eclipses, so you should be kind of used to this energy by now. So there may be something going on with the looking to your past and kind of looking at it longingly, or just being sad about it or nostalgic about it. If there was a time in your life where you were fully in control, where you kind of seem to have been getting it on, or kind of standing in your power, because the Magician is really it can be either Mercury or Uranus, and Uranus is your modern ruling planet. So I don't know, like it's kind of like there was a time when you had balance, when you were more in control. I think there was a time when you were more in your power about being able to create what you wanted or your desires. And I think you're potentially looking back to that time and longing for it, really. I mean, if you look at this kid here, he's in a suitcase, you know, and he's got everything he wants in there, and he's got a planet. He's balancing a planet up there. On his hand, he's kind of just, he's living in this land of kind of ultimate creativity, and it's showing in the physical realm. And I feel like you had gotten that you were following certain kind of, you had some level of control over your mind, in whereby your thoughts, you were seeing the results of your thoughts, excuse me, becoming things. It was kind of like believing is seeing, you know, that kind of way, and that you were able to negate the negative thoughts that were coming through by using like the power that you had from, I don't know where you got it from, or if you had researched it, or if this was just you practicing, but you had some level of your life mirroring the life that you wanted. And I think that now that's kind of slipped away because because you've been hurt somehow. Yeah, you've been hurt somehow. I think you learned how to control your environment and control um, your thoughts. And this gave you a level of control and power in your life. And now it seems that you've been really, really hurt by something. And you seem to be kind of focused on it. And not really seeing what else is out there, not really being able to see the good things that are there in your life. So the Three of Voices is Saturn in Libra, which is a restriction on a relationship or a restriction with others. It's kind of, and it could be a dominant person in a relationship or something like that. Um, the Five of Cups is Mars and Scorpio, which can, there, you've been disappointed, you've been let down. There's sting in that tail with Mars there. It's kind of like someone was kind of a little bit selfish and ended up disappointing you in because of that. It's like there was someone that you looked up to that has hurt you and you didn't expect it to come from them. And the Ace of Inspiration, which is the Ace of Wands. I don't know if you were left down by your religious beliefs or by your spiritual practices or by a mentor, a guru, or a teacher. It could actually just be a parental figure or a caretaker, or like someone, let's say a facilitator in a group or something like that. I don't know if you were let down by that type of person. You don't seem to be able to let that go. Your heart is kind of frozen, it's blocked, and there's this empty feeling that you feel inside. I think the magic has been taken out of your world, and it seems quite dreary, and yeah, just it's dreary, and it's quite cold. Um, but there's something waiting to take off. You know you can't stay like this. There's something waiting to take off. Because we've got the Ace of Inspiration under here, the Ace of Wands. That's like a passionate idea that you're running off with, something that you're really, really empowered by, something that you're like, it lights you up, something quite intuitive as well, and perhaps something really creative. There's like, but it's the start of a new journey. I think things here are very kind of rigid. In the past, they weren't. That's very magical and playful and creative. Um, and here, then you have this kind of, I mean, we have to go through obstacles and difficulties for growth to happen. And this is the one of the messages of the Three of Voices, is the message of this hurt was necessary to grow. This change is necessary to move up a level. And like the Three of Voices is the Three of Wind, Three of Swords. So it's like it's in your head, the hurt happened, but the thing that's keeping the hurt alive is the thought process around it. And the thought process is thought process is leading you to emotionally feel it in your body, that disappointment and that, you know, feeling of kind of like being left down and victimized, perhaps. The thoughts are leading to the emotions, to the negative thoughts are leading to the negative emotions. And it's to do with yourself. I think you were yourself before. Someone knocked you off. Someone broke a contract. Someone let you down. Someone wasn't loyal. It was supposed to be someone who was loyal, but someone wasn't. And you're kind of in that, but wanting to be back here where life was pretty good, where you were in control. Interesting. So it could be a message from someone that came in that is making you excuse me, that is making you think back to the past like that. So you have the Hanged Man under here, so that's like Pisces. This is Taurus, so like we're in Taurus season in May, end of April, May. Mercury retrograde is Taurus. I wonder if you saw something or were reminded about something, or are just thinking about the past, about the two directions your life could have gone in. I think you had a choice at one point of which way you were going to go. And I think part of you is looking back at that and seeing that decision. And I think it did feel like a decision at the time, a distinct decision. And now I'm wondering if the decision was to go off and step into your power and become the powerful creator and continue on this journey, because you were definitely had started off on a journey, maybe some sort of spiritual journey, maybe some sort of project, maybe some sort of, I don't know, self-development, something like that, or course of study or something that was going to kind of, like, look how powerful this card is. Like, it's the one that's kind of standing out the most. Up, down, it's like, well, I mean, you have to go, I mean, what goes up must come down and vice versa, and this is life and this is the way it goes, and that's fine. It's just how you deal with it and how you think about it in the end. So I think you were at the height of your power, of your understanding, or reaching heights at least. You were a very powerful manifester, getting what you wanted, and then you crashed down. And I wonder if that was because of this crossroads or decision you had to make around, you know, standing on your own in your power, or going after, I think, maybe a repetitive dynamic or something. Here, like, there was something lacking inside, and the kind of kid in you, the inner child in you, kind of, that wasn't given a voice, perhaps, went off and chose something else because it just wanted instant gratification. I wonder, did it think that was what love was? Did you think it was love? And so you went for it. But in actuality, not that it wasn't love, but that pattern needed to play out. And 6, yeah. Yeah, it's like you've gone here from a 6 to the 5 of emotions, so it's going backwards, but it's like the 6 of emotion is looking backwards. It has to go backwards, whereas the 5 is looking forwards. So it's like you had to go back to go forward. You had to have this setback. You had to come in here to the 3 of voices. You had to feel this sadness so that you can actually shed it and learn something from it and become an authority on it, perhaps. There could be like a chiron wounding here, where, you know, that kind of way you have to experience a wound before you can help others with it, and that's your kind of chiron experience. I wonder if someone owed you money. I wonder if someone stole money. I wonder if someone promised something to do with finances, or promised abilities, promised a family, promised growth, and disappointed and reneged on it. And I think that's what you're getting stuck in. And I think you're getting stuck in, oh, my life could have been this 10 of Pentacles. It could have been great. I could have had all this money. I could have had all this stability. I could have had a family. I could have lived there, could have done that, could have had that. And that's what's keeping you stuck, because the reality of your life now doesn't look like that, but the decisions that you took led to that. But you don't know that was the case. I mean, that was obvious. That 10 of Pentacles was never going to happen, you know, because if you're choosing from this lack space, that was never going to happen. But also in this space, you don't know what's going to happen either. Anything you couldn't get here. I mean, I don't think here's the end game, but like, you couldn't guess where you wanted to go, because you needed to take this step back so you could move forward and let it go, because you've a better understanding of it now by going back and moving forward. Because here you're going alone and you're moving forward. That's the 9 of Pentacles. And I know we're going down a notch again. There's something about going back and repeating things, going back and, like, it's not a complete do-over, but it is a kind of, I'm going back to basics. I'm going back. I kind of didn't learn that step. I need to go back. Because you have the 10 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles. And I think the 9 of Pentacles is telling you, okay, kind of, you almost got there on your own, but you need to go back and do it again. And these look to me, they're 2 different decks, but they look to me really similar. Like, I don't know any other deck that has these round things, you know, in front. And this is the 9 of Pentacles. So there's something echoing, and I just feel like her hair and what's going on above, and the table, like, or that looks like a table, I'm not sure it actually is, but there's just something very similar about this. And I think you're being asked to go back, and maybe it's to do with security, stability, finances, work. You're being asked to go back and reapply some things, some discipline to your mind around stability and money or something, because there's something going on there to do with that, to do with your stability. Up here is all very emotive and thought-based. Down here, it's a lot more practical. It's a lot more physical. You're going to have to see things from a different perspective, it seems. And this is about who you are as a person. You could be reinventing yourself. Well, this is the bottom of the deck. What's here? The 8 of Wands. Yeah, I think... Okay, this is like in suspension, stop, slow down, but see things from a different perspective. And then here you've the 8 of Wands just flying in with messages, inspiration, desires. I think you need to go back. What you're being asked to do is to go back to some practices or self-discipline you had around your thought process, around your emotions, And I think part of that is to give gratitude or have a gratitude journal to say thanks for the past, to say thanks for the past experiences that you have had, and to try, which I know is really hard sometimes, to just even pick out one good thing one thing that has made you better from that time, one thing that happened that has made you better. Just pick one really small thing to try and view this from a different perspective. And I think that's what you might be working at around this time of in May, and in this Mercury retrograde that's going back and looking, and about like the eclipse as well. Yeah, I think it's really lovely. I don't think this is anything new to you. I think you know this. Yeah, a new start is coming, and it's going to start actually really quickly in the end. Once you just practice this gratitude or start to do some maybe meditative, spiritual, religious, go to a therapist, a guru, a mentor, something like a philosophy, something to feed you, to help to nourish that part of you that knows that your thoughts do create your reality. Because a new start is coming really, really soon. And it is something around something potentially kind of philosophical. But it's about who you are and what you want. Angel of clearing, your time of waiting and confusion will soon be over. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's like you're clearing out something. It's like this stuff here, that all needs to kind of be shoved away or something, or recounted or whatever. So yeah, that's amazing. I would start with gratitude and work up slowly, and maybe read a few other things, a few philosophies, or a few kind of spiritual, religious, whatever kind of lessons or texts or practices to try and get a hold of this kind of like negative thinking that's keeping you kind of stuck in this disappointment that isn't allowing you to move forward anywhere, because you're kind of reinventing yourself right now. This is going to, it's all about who you are and what you want. So it's a very important time to do that, because like the Ace of Inspiration is under here as the Ace of Wands. You're taking off on a new trajectory that's going to really fulfill you on this like physical level. So thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of that. Thanks.